increasing number of scientists believe that everything in the universe possesses life, including Earth. Upon deeper research, we can perceive Earth as resembling a living organism. Because all life in the universe, despite differences in form and species, still shares similarities. Does anyone believe that Earth is a living entity capable of self-regulation to maintain a stable state? This is a characteristic unique to organic living beings. It can be called internal equilibrium. Earth is a living entity. Our atmosphere, the air we breathe, is evaluated by scientists as being astonishingly chemically imbalanced. The mixture of air, hydrocarbons, and oxygen in Earth's atmosphere resembles the fuel input mixture of an internal combustion engine. Like the self-healing ability of humans, Earth's internal equilibrium manifests in many aspects. For example, although air composition and seawater salinity are influenced by many factors, they always maintain a stable state. Even if solar radiation increases sharply, Earth's surface temperature remains relatively stable. Despite frequently being affected by natural disasters and damaged by life activities, Earth always possesses the ability to self-heal, recovering to its original state after just a short time. Not only that, Earth and the human body may seem unrelated at first glance, but in reality, they share many similarities in terms of life. It is often said that Earth consists of 3 parts mountains, 7 parts water, and only a small part plains. Actual statistics show that the volume of water stored on the land surface is 385 million cubic kilometers. It is spread evenly across Earth's surface. Earth would become a water sphere with a depth of over 2,700 meters. All life on Earth originates from water. Similarly, water is also the most important element for sustaining human life. It is the component with the highest proportion, about 65% to 70% of body weight. Water constitutes 75% of the brain, 83% of the blood, 76% of muscles, and even bones contain 22% water. The important acupoints of Earth. In Chinese medicine, the human body has 2 most important acupoints, Shankai and Mingmen, symmetrical to each other, harmonizing yin and yang. These are considered the origin of human life. Shankai is precisely the navel. Traditional Chinese medicine holds that this is the gateway for the passage of vital energy. The navel is located at the body's midline, serving as the dividing point. From there, it divides the human body in half. The navel is where the 5 organs connect, the entry and exit point of true qi, anciently called Shankai. The navel is also where nutrients are supplied when our bodies begin to form in the mother's womb. Earth also has a similar point. Its location lies between 30 degrees east and 60 degrees east longitude, near 30 degrees north latitude, dividing north and south. This is the world's Middle East oil field. It resembles the navel on the human body. The Middle East region is responsible for supplying energy to all of humanity. Along the 30 degrees north latitude crossing Earth, near coordinates 32 degrees north and 64 degrees west, lies the famous Bermuda Triangle area. If compared to the opposite part of the navel on the human body, this is Earth's Mingmen. This location is also called the life-preserving meridian. On this latitude line, not only do ancient civilizations exist, but there are also many magnificent natural landscapes and unsolved mysteries. Here lies the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, the deepest Mariana Trench, ancient Egyptian civilization, the endless sandstorms of the Sahara Desert, and many other strange phenomena on Earth. The major rivers on Earth are also located near 30 degrees north latitude, similar to blood circulating through the heart of the body. The blood circulation system in the human body is divided into arteries, veins, and interwoven capillaries. The same is true on Earth. There are large rivers like arteries flowing through important regions. These are the Yangtze River flowing through China, the Mississippi River flowing through the United States, the Nile River flowing through Egypt, or the Danube River flowing through most European countries. Many branches of these major rivers and smaller streams resemble capillaries running through the human body. They meander and weave into every corner of the globe. If Earth's crust is carefully compared with a diagram of human body organs, it is not difficult to notice that Antarctica and the human brain not only have similar shapes but also similar structures. The southwestern part of Antarctica is the cerebrum, and the southeastern part is the cerebellum. Its eastern peninsula pointing towards South America is the brain. The most interesting thing is that humans began studying the brain in the 1850s. Almost at the same time humans began exploring Antarctica. According to scientific research, most functions of the human brain remain untapped, similar to the secrets hidden beneath the ice in Antarctica. Perhaps you haven't forgotten the mysteries recorded in a classic of mountains and seas from a recent video. This is China's oldest geographical book. It is also an ancient work that records many stories and mythological legends. Consisting of 5 volumes of the Classic of Mountains and 13 volumes of the In the Classic of Mountains and Seas, it is written that, according to Yu the Great, the world has a total of 5,370 famous mountains, spanning about 103,828 kilometers, including the landform, known as the Five Zhang. The ancients called this the Five Zhang of their Classic of Mountains. Five Zhang. As in the and five viscera and 6 bowels. They are the heart, liver, spleen, lungs, and kidneys. With the spherical shape of the Earth, where could its 5 Zhang be located? It is pointed out that Australia is the heart, Africa and South America are the 2 lungs. The Eurasian continent is the liver, the South Asian subcontinent is the gallbladder beneath the liver. The Ural Mountains are the ligament dividing the left and right lobes of the liver to secure it, while North America is the spleen and Greenland is the kidney. Except for the orientation of the Eurasian continent being opposite to that of the liver, the positions of all other continents correspond to the 5 viscera in the human body. Could the ancients' way of viewing maps be a form of suggestion, or is this merely a random coincidence? Through countless similarities between the human body and the Earth, we are both amazed by the miracle of creation and puzzled. Is this the arrangement of a deity or just a random coincidence? Although it does not directly prove the existence of a deity, science itself shows that without miracles, life in the universe would not exist. In 1966, Time magazine featured us covered the question, "Is God dead?" The article reflected that many people had accepted the cultural notion that God was obsolete. That as science advanced, there was no need for God to explain the existence of the universe. However, it turned out that declarations denying God were premature, and arguments supporting his existence came from science itself. That was when this famous article was published. Astronomer Carl Sagan stated that there are 2 parameters necessary for a planet to support life: a star of the right type and a planet at the right distance orbiting that star. Then, among about 1 million trillion planets in the universe, there would be about 1,000 trillion planets capable of supporting life. With such optimistic probability, scientists were hopeful that the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, the SETI project, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, proposed in the 1960s, would surely discover something soon. So why, with a vast network of radio telescopes over more than half a century, has the silence from space become increasingly overwhelming? Is this evidence that among 1 trillion planets capable of supporting life, including the number 1 followed by 21 zeros, the rest are all zeros? Clearly, we have missed something. As our understanding of the universe deepens, it becomes clear that more factors are required to create life than initially assumed, let alone intelligent life. From this, the initial 2 necessary parameters have increased to 10, then 20, and then 50. This means the number of planets capable of supporting life has also significantly increased. This number has dropped to only a few thousand planets and continues to decline. Even SETI proponents had to acknowledge this issue. Peters Jankiel wrote in a 2006 article in a journal strongly supportive of atheism, in light of new discoveries and understanding, we should admit that previous estimates may no longer be reasonable. Today, science has identified over 200 parameters necessary for a planet to support life. All these parameters must be met perfectly, or the entire system will collapse. For example, without a giant planet with strong gravity like Jupiter to intercept asteroids, Earth would be devastated like a shooting target in space, rather than a lush green planet. Earth's gravity must be precise to retain water vapor, ensuring humidity and temperature for life, but also weak enough to allow methane and ammonia, toxic gases, to escape the atmosphere. If gravity changed by just a few percent, we would all die. Yet here we are, not only existing but also discussing existence. How can this be? Could all these impossible probabilities have been broken? At what probability threshold would science conclude that we cannot be the result of random forces? In fact, the view that a supernatural intelligence created these perfect conditions, S formation was random yet perfectly met all conditions, doesn't. The process for life to exist on a planet is already this complex, but it pales in comparison to the process for the universe to exist. For example, astrophysicists now know that the values of the 4 fundamental forces, gravity, electromagnetic force, strong nuclear force, and weak nuclear force, were determined within less than a millionth of a second after the Big Bang. If even a tiny change occurred in any of these 4 values, the universe as we know it could not exist. For instance, if the ratio between the strong nuclear force and electromagnetic force decreased by just the smallest fraction, no stars could form. Multiply that probability by all other necessary conditions, and the probability of the universe existing randomly is extremely small. It is no different from the probability of flipping a coin and getting heads 10 billion times in a row. One thing we all understand: this could never happen randomly. Big Bang. SETI's atheism was severely shaken by this development. World-renowned theoretical physicist Paul Davies also said, "The appearance of intelligent design is overwhelming." Even Christopher Hitchens, one of the most active proponents of atheism, admitted, "There is no doubt that the argument for cosmic design is the strongest argument from the other side." Or as Oxford University mathematics professor Dr. John Lennox said, "The more we understand about the universe, the more credible the hypothesis of a creator becomes." This is the most optimal explanation for why we are here. The greatest miracle of all time is the universe itself. It is the miracle of all miracles. It is impossible not to mention someone who created this perfect life. Moreover, it can even self-regulate to maintain a stable state. What do you think about this arrangement? Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below right after the video ends. And now, before we finish, I'd like to say hello and wish everyone a good new day. Subscribe to the Dark Truth Files channel to support the Lawless School channel and receive. Subscribe to the Dark Truth Files channel to support the Lawless